and then we'll start. Yeah, right now they can see just the slides. They're just going to talk. They don't have to drive. They're just going to talk. They don't have to drive. Well, I'll try it when we get there, maybe. In that case, I think okay. Well, it is 2:04. We've got several people on the call. I want to be although I don't think we'll take the full hour, but I do want to be respectful for those of you who were on time. This is Helen Ishii. I'm the Director of Member Services here at the Southeastern Council of Foundations. First, thank you all for being members. We also have Angie Rowe Wood, who is our new Director of Marketing and Communications. She'll be talking about her section a little later. And then we've got our fabulous Gabriel Namias, who was our Emory intern last year, and he's been so good we haven't let him go. And he enjoys all the credit for this fabulous presentation you're about to see. And if you see any mistakes, they're mine because I edited it after him. So I do want to give him the credit for developing a really good-looking presentation here. I would like to introduce Bob Bachler. He's the President and CEO of the Community Foundation for Greater Memphis. He is also an SECF Chair, and he is my especially fabulous committee Chair. So, Bob, will you start us off?
Yeah, thanks, Helen. It's my pleasure just to welcome everybody. As Helen says, I work for the Southeastern Council of Foundations, and in my spare time, I'm president of the Community Foundation of Greater Memphis. Because I do chair the membership committee. I also chair, as you'll hear in a second, the Community Foundation leadership team, and I've been pushing for services for community foundations. Most importantly, the Community Foundation of Greater Memphis has been a member of the Southeastern Council for, I think, going on 40 years, and we are big believers in the value of our membership. And I've got to say that the value of that has only increased over time as the SECF has added features and benefits to members. And I think useful for this discussion, sometimes I'm not even sure of everything that the SECF does, so it's actually useful to actually hear all of those things. So this presentation is designed to do just that, to highlight those benefits. So Helen, we'll go ahead and start and talk about networking and educational opportunities, and I'm going to take a little bit of this and then turn it back to Helen. I think that like everything else in the South, everything starts with people-to-people conversations. So networking is probably the most important benefit that everybody looks at, and the opportunity to meet peers and even meet peers in other fields, other foundation fields. I know here in Memphis we go out of our way to meet the healthcare legacy and private foundation leaders, and I've always known how valuable that is, given the fact that we work in the same territory and have a lot of the same grantees. But I have been, frankly, a little surprised, but very enriched by the fact that there are so many other bright people throughout the South, and they can inform me on so many other things as well. So the opportunity to network and to meet at conferences and forums and just to share ideas and experiences has been probably one of the most valuable benefits to SECF to me. Let's see. And then on to the other thing I wanted to touch on really quick, and then I'm going to hand it back to Helen, is the Community Foundation of Greater Memphis has been a big investor in the educational programs of the SECF.
That's the president. Then she must be the president. I don't know what I saw him at.
Particularly, I'm just going to touch specifically on the Whole Fellows program, which we have been a big user of that service. Two of my staff members are graduates of the Whole Fellows program. The Whole Fellows program is, as it says on page 4, the nation's only professional development opportunity for philanthropy's up-and-coming leaders. These are folks that tend to be on the young side, but they are brilliant and going to be really leaders in the field, but need some grounding professionally, and frankly can take excellent use of the opportunity to meet their peers from throughout the Southeast. So we have found that that's been extremely useful. In fact, both of my staff members that are graduates, that are their Hull Fellows, have said universally that it is the most useful professional development experience that they've had, and they've all had a variety of professional development experiences. And I'll say for me personally, part of the Hull Fellow experience is linking these up-and-coming leaders with CEOs of foundations throughout the Southeast as mentors. And I've been involved as a mentor for 2 of those classes, and just meeting these bright young folks has been, frankly, helpful to me in what I do. It's funny when you have been in the field for so long, you tend to think you know everything, and then when a 35-year-old asks you what you first thought was a stupid question, gets you rethinking how you do things, it's been a big benefit. I was telling Helen that next week when she and I were supposed to talk on something else, I'm actually talking with one of my Hull Fellows mentees from 3 years ago who I still talk to on a monthly basis. So that tells you sort of that long-term power and linkage, not only of the Hull Fellows program, but also the meanings, the usefulness and the power of the peer-to-peer and other networking opportunities to the SECF. So with Helen, with that, after I've been babbling for a while, I'm going to turn it back to you to talk about the CEO Leadership Forum and some of the other educational experiences.
I'm happy to do that. Thank you very much, Bob. And my apologies. I should have let you all know because we do have the conference lines open. To mute your phone, it's *6, and to unmute, it's *7. So we are picking some background noise from someone. So if you would mute your phones by *6, that would be helpful. So, we don't get any background noise or dogs or other phones, that type of a thing. So thank you, Bob, for talking about the Hull program. Those who have been through the Hull program rave about it for years. Those we added a few years ago, as Bob mentioned, this mentoring aspect, which has been very valuable from both perspectives, both the mentor and the mentee, which is good to hear. Another one of our forums is for the CEO leaders. We have heard this from a number of years, although there's a lot of depth and breadth at the annual meeting. There are times and issues that CEOs want to get together and need to be able to discuss in a confidential way among their peers. Some of the CEOs have been in place for so long, it's nice to get together with some of the high-level consultants that we bring in for that challenge their thinking, both from a strategic standpoint and also from an organizational standpoint and what it means to be a community leader. Because we have these programs that hit both the emerging leaders through the Hull program and for the very experienced leaders through the CEO, there is, as you are all well aware, people are in their positions for a long period in grant-making organizations. And so we did realize, our members told us about this need for senior managers for development and professional development opportunity and developing a challenging curriculum for those who are mid-career professionals, those who've been in place for a number of years but have not yet moved up to the CEO level, but still want that professional development and challenge of being able to participate in a program with their peers. We're working on developing that curriculum at this point. We have interviewed some candidates to develop that curriculum, and the program will be announced and launching this fall at the annual meeting in Hot Springs at the Homestead. So those of you who've already been through the Hull program and are not yet a CEO, this is going to be an exciting opportunity for a deeper dive into what it means to be a philanthropist and a community leader and how you can grow at your organization. In addition to the different program that we have position-based, we also have programming for many of our constituencies. It's always been what's made SECF rather strong. We have self-named the Health Conversion Foundations because so many of them exist here in the South, and in getting together they have some unique properties around their formation and the assets that they have, the fact that they may be one of a few funders and or maybe the largest funder in their community. They're often in rural areas, and some of them stay with a health focus and some of them go on. But because of these unique governance issues and community leadership issues that they have chosen to name themselves Health Legacies, because they're not all remaining focused on health, but that is where they came from, and they may now be looking at their community more holistically. We've had these annual CEO assemblies. The next one will be for about 4 or 5 years. The next one will be June 27th through 28th in Louisville, Kentucky. And I don't know that we have any Health Legacies on here, but it's a wonderful opportunity for those in the Health Legacy constituency. We have a group for those in the Atlanta area. Yvonne Whitaker, for instance, is one that participates in that, our Atlanta Corporate Donors Group. It is for corporate donors in the metro Atlanta area. They enjoy lunch about 7 times a year, get to talk about issues and campaigns that are going on that impact their giving within the community. Another, and I'm going to ask Bob to talk about this one again, another constituency that we are taking a deeper dive with are the community foundations. And Bob, do you want to, he's been instrumental in getting this revamped. We took a break from some of the constituencies for a few years, and community foundations is one we're working with again. Bob, are you?
Yeah, thanks, Helen. Just real quick, you have to be careful what you complain about. I have been critical, frankly, of some of the programming for community foundations on the national level at the Council on Foundations, and I thought because the SECF has such great membership and involvement among community foundations that we could do some valuable programming for community foundations just even at the regional level. And SECF has been really responsive to that, even though community foundations are a relatively small portion of the SECF's membership. So we've developed, as it says at the bottom page, some very targeted webinars on topics that have been developed by community foundations for community foundations. You can see there's a couple of those, one planned for June and one planned for October. And we've also been able to create some increased programming at the annual meeting around Community Foundation Day, where we have some real targeted and emphasized programming specifically designed for community foundations. So that's been a real help, and I think that I'd like to see that grow in the future. And again, I think it's one of the advantages the SECF can do.
Thanks, Bob. That is one of the community foundations is another constituency that's quite strong within our region, and but they have less travel budget, so we try to be mindful of that, and that's why we offer webinars that way. The largest member constituency within our membership are family foundations, and we have a number of benefits for family foundations. One coming up is a Family Foundations Forum, which is going to be June 17th through 19th in Cashiers, North Carolina. The Family Foundations Forums are designed for staff and trustees, and even including trustees and extended family of non-staffed foundations, with the curriculum designed specifically for family foundations and the issues that you face. Another program that we've been happy to participate in for the last couple of years is the Southeastern Family Office Forum. It's in September in Atlanta, and the Southeast must now refer to the fact that it's located here because of the last one. People were broadly from around the nation, and this is for trustees and in particularly family office staff rather than necessarily foundation staff, to help inform them on the investment side, but also around philanthropy and the benefit that it can have to the entire family office. So there's a bit of discussion on that. In addition to constituency meetings, what we are trying to provide our members deeper benefits is in smaller group meetings around the region. There's the Georgia Grantmakers Alliance was an initiative of ours that started now about 4 or 5 years ago. They meet twice annually in the state, typically once in Atlanta and once in Macon or somewhere else within the state. The next meeting for the GGA is going to be August 15th in Macon. They also are newsletters and information. They've got a page. There is a page dedicated to GGA on our website. If you're in Georgia and you're not already participating in those events or getting notices about those events, please email Kenita Williams in our office. And her email is Kenita, Kenita, @secf.org if you'd like to receive those communications and you're not. Grantmakers of Kentucky is another statewide group, donors group that we manage and support. Our members learn from each other, and like Georgia, Kentucky had some interested members who wanted to see the state, funders within the state get to know each other better so that they could achieve whatever goals they wanted to achieve on a statewide basis. They felt like they didn't know each other well enough and wanted to meet on a more local basis. We began that initiative about 4 years ago, and this year, maybe 3. This year will be our 3rd meeting. It's going to be August 27th in Louisville. So, and these meetings are not, whether it's GGA or Grantmakers of Kentucky, and there are a couple more I'm going to talk about, they're not for necessarily funders who are limited to funders who are located in that state or location. It is for funders who are making grants in that location. We have a number of regional foundations that are members, and or especially some of you who maybe have roots in other communities or other states. Feel free to participate in any of these state organizations where you're making grants. 2 other groups I wanted to talk about is the Atlanta Foundations Forum. It meets roughly quarterly here in Atlanta. It's a rather large group. It's hosted by a member who picks up the cost of lunch and gets to talk about a grantee and some of the work that they're doing, and may even be, to a great part, the genesis of some of these other groups meeting, because there is great benefit in funders in an area getting to know each other well so that they can be comfortable picking up the phone and talking to each other. The Louisiana initiative is similar to Georgia and Kentucky. There's a couple of members down there who said we would greatly benefit from the state, funders in the state getting to know each other and meeting on a more regular basis. And so we're just starting that initiative this year. The first meeting will be June 24th in Baton Rouge. So if you are in Louisiana or interested in funding in Louisiana, please feel free to attend that meeting. Registration may not quite be open on that yet, but it will any day now. In addition to programming by position type, by constituency, and by geography, then there are also all sorts of interest area or funding interest area, whether it's Foundations on the Hill and you really are interested in seeing how you can make public policy part of your grant-making portfolio. In other words, you're interested in going into a deeper dive and impacting on a larger scale and using advocacy to achieve that, or whether you're interested in participating in public policy to defend the field. There have been a number of attacks on the field through the charitable tax deduction. At one time, I've been here long enough to recall that one time they were talking seriously about changing the payout rate for private foundations. There are reasons like that that it's important that we stay involved. We, not only SECF, but you as members, involved at both the state and federal level in issues that may impact you and your foundation. The Engagement Initiative is another program that focuses on, as we all have heard here in the South for a number of years, about the silver tsunami. And they're looking not just on funding for aging, but in general how the aging population is going to impact your community and how you should be thinking about your community differently because of the aging population. So it's not just those who are interested in funding in aging, but more broadly those who are interested in the impact of an aging population on your community. The poverty initiative is similar, got the idea from in the aging and saying, you know, unfortunately, if you look at the states within our region, we lead in all the indicators you don't want to lead in poor education, highest obesity rates, lowest graduation rates, poorest income, health, all these related issues. And so how can we, as funders across the region, gain knowledge from each other to have better impact? And that is something that has been talked about by members and is probably going to take off sometime soon. And if you're interested in participating in that and interested in leading on that especially, then let me or Janine Lee, our president, know. And then in addition to the different type of program, we also have skill set type programming. So there's an Essential Skills and Strategies course that we offer a couple of times a year. Our Conference on Investing was in February this year, and it's going to be in the early 2014. I do want to point out on the Conference on Investing, it is unique because it's one of the few, and it's not one of the few, it's the only investing conference that is for both foundation staff, but also their trustees, and also includes some focus on the fact that where there are a lot of investing conferences, most of those are focusing purely on the investment, but not on the fact that you still have to maintain a 5% payout. So how do you achieve your goals to ensure that you can hit your payout and also achieve your investment goals? And, oh, by the way, your trustees also have, legal fiduciary responsibilities. So covering all of those aspects. And it has become a very popular conference for our members, both staff and trustees. One of our partners is the Grant Making School. Realizing that we can't do everything ourselves, we like to look out to other infrastructure organizations within the across the nation that provide training and programs that are beneficial to you, our members. And the Grant Making School is one of those. They offer 3 really, as the name applies, advanced level professional grant making courses that are at the college level. It's advanced proposal analysis, grant financial analysis, and the third one is the advanced grant portfolio management course, which is going to be offered in August in New Orleans. That's going to be August 20 through 21st. I don't believe registration has opened for it yet, but it's going to be opening any day. And our members have shared with us that they get a lot out of these courses, so we strongly urge you to attend those whenever possible. We are one of the few regionals that the Grant Making School partners with so that we can bring these courses closer to you. So hopefully it's kinder to your travel budget. Also, you'll be in a class with more of your peers. It is open to national attendance, but we find when it's in the region, we have more members from across the South. So I hope you're able to attend in New Orleans in August. And of course, we could never talk about programming without mentioning our renowned annual meeting. The annual meeting program committee has been in place and hard-working since the fall of 2012. The registration is already open, and if you have not registered, please register soon. One thing that is slightly different this year, the program is as outstanding as ever. But this year you will need to make your own reservations at the homestead, and those directions are also available with the registration. And as always, the rooms are on a first-come, first-served basis. So please register frequently and often for the annual meeting. Yeah, the registration is open now. So the calendar. So we just covered very quickly and touched on lightly the depth and breadth of some of the programming that we offered. And so we have found, or we want to make sure you're aware that all of this is on our website. It's on the calendar page, and calendar links on the right side of our main page, and you can easily go there and find anything anytime you're looking for an event. And encourage you to go there frequently our members tell us it's the most visited page on our website, which is a good thing. And now I'd like to turn this over to Angie Rowood. We're down to our resources and publications and partnerships. So, Angie, if you want to talk, I'll let Angie take over.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's nice to meet those of you who I haven't had a chance to meet in person yet, and good to see virtually over the phone those who I have had the opportunity to meet. It's been, I think I've been here 10 weeks now, and it feels, sometimes it feels like I just started yesterday. I try to use that excuse whenever I can, but I really do feel like it's been longer. It's been a really, really exciting opportunity to get to know so many of you and your foundations and the great work that SECF and you all are doing. All right, so let's get started with the publications that we offer. And I'm going to go ahead and ask a question if any of you are muted. So if anybody could just respond to me and answer this. I'm wondering how many of you currently receive the Interchange newsletter, and if anybody has any thoughts that they'd like to share about that initially.
And if you muted your phone to unmute, it's *7.
*7. Anybody out there have thoughts on that? Or I can keep going. So Interchange is the great print resource that we have, which is really able to dive deeper into the stories that so many of our member organizations like yourselves are working on. One of the things I really want to stress to you all is that we are constantly looking for really good stories and really good content to put in this piece, which many of you may know Betsy Russell. She was here for, I think, over 21 years. She and I are still in contact on this Interchange together. She is still the publication's editor and still the driving force behind that. And my goal is to help her get the stories that she needs. So I really welcome your content on that. And my email is Angie, ANJI, @secf.org. ANJI@secf.org, and that's for content for any of these publications that we're going to talk about. So that's our Interchange. We do have a new issue which is posted online today. And will be dropping in its print version at your offices in the next 2 weeks. One important note is that if you'd like to receive the Interchange only electronically and save trees that way, we do have the option to do that. You can select that in your member profile. So we just want to let you all know that. Moving on, we'll go to our e-newsletter, which is Connections. Connections is this really exciting e-publication which Janine Lee works very hard on, and really trying to come up with some of the greatest resources and stories and articles of interest that have been out in the news in the past 2 weeks. This is a bi-weekly publication. You all get it in your email boxes. You can unsubscribe to any of these if you want to, but we hope that you don't want to, because they really are fascinating. I was really interested in some of the stories that came out last week. We welcome your ideas on stories that should be mentioned in here. Just last week we wrote a story about the Winthrop Rockefeller Foundation and the Why Arkansas campaign. We really like to talk about our members as much as possible, and we only get that information from you and from searching the web too, but would love to get it from you firsthand. So that's our bi-weekly newsletter, connecting you with the latest news and events that are happening in philanthropy. Then we have our website, of course, secf.org. Tons of resources, archives, sample documents. We have a lot of opportunities for you to engage in forums and listservs. We have webinars that we post on here, minutes from committee meetings which you can read about, all the records that we have that are pretty exciting. Our secf.org really also provides that calendar space that we talked about a little while ago. That calendar is really so valuable to make sure that you're able to plan ahead and save the date for those for those appointments that you want to make sure that you get to make, all of the programming and events that we offer. One of the things that our creative consultant did last year that people really liked at the annual meeting was the creation of the e-magazine. We do intend to do another one of those this year, so it was really an opportunity for this online resource that that was created and shared stories and talked about the annual meeting, so I hope some of you got a chance to see that. We do intend to do more e-magazine content moving forward in the future, with really the main goal with these publications is to share the stories that you all are able to really impact with your grant making, and really tell what you all are doing and show the value of philanthropy. As part of the strategic plan for SECF, one of those main goals is to cultivate the voice of philanthropy in the South, and we take that very seriously and really want to make sure we're doing a good job there, and always looking for input. And then we can move to our member advisories. So we have these public policy alerts that we've been sending out. We've been really ramping up, as Helen mentioned, our public policy offerings and outreach, and one of the ways that we do that is to, when legislative meetings are in session, we try to send alerts of anything that would be of interest to our members and to you, to make sure that you're able to stay on top of any of the key decisions that are out there. Not just when you head to the Hill, but the entire session as well. We do have opportunities to send these alerts whenever something exciting arises. So we do try to share any information that we can in that way. And then we'll go to the blog that we have, which is currently needs to be maintained a little bit more. We're working on that. We welcome any people who have ideas for guest blogging. We right now are in the process of really ramping up our social media presence. So we've created a new Facebook page, a new LinkedIn page, and also our Twitter account has been pretty active, but our LinkedIn page is up, and we really encourage any of you to find our group on LinkedIn, Southeastern Council of Foundations, if you're on there, and list us as a group. Because that's a great way for you all to stay connected and engaged as well, and for people to know about the good work that you're doing in the Southeast with SECF. The blog is there, then we have our Facebook page and our Twitter page. We're also really going to be ramping up that LinkedIn page, like I said, but we really encourage you to get connected with us there, because we send a lot of emails, but we could send less emails if we had more people following us in these other vehicles too. So we welcome you there, and we promise we will never. One interesting thing to note that I really want to make sure I say is, if you like us, if you like our organization's page on Facebook, we cannot see your personal page. It's just like if you liked, Sam's Club or Coca-Cola or Walmart. If you like us, it's just a matter of saying that you support our page, and it does show up as one of your likes, but we cannot see your personal page. We do have a page that you can friend if you want us to stay, to see what your Facebook page is showing. A lot of people's Facebook pages are, philanthropy focused, and if you have one of those, we'd love for you to share with us there. But want to make sure you know that liking us on Facebook will not give us access to see your personal page, just so you know. Then next we have Helen is going to talk a little bit more about some other resources we have, and I really appreciate you all giving me the opportunity to speak for a few minutes, and I welcome any phone calls or emails. Would love to hear from you on ways you think that we could do better in the marketing and communications area, and we certainly are looking ahead and trying to do more exciting things for you to be even more of a resource. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Angie. And I did want to mention Janine came in a while ago.
Hi, everybody. We love being liked, so like us.
Like us, friend us, whatever you want. We're happy. Just participate. We want to meet you where you are, however you want to, whether it's outgoing or self-selecting, however you want to communicate with us. As I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the Family Foundations Forum meeting, we do have other resources particularly for family foundations. We have a cooperative with the Family Philanthropy Online Knowledge Center, which is a online searchable resource tool produced by the National Center for Family Philanthropy. So you have access to that. We're going to have a webinar so that you can, if you're a family foundation and you want to learn how to use it, although I must admit, here's a secret to some of y'all, especially some of the things on strategic planning and some of the forums, I share those with people who are not family foundations. It's legal. There are just a great depth of resources available there that you may find helpful even if you're not a family foundation. But we're going to have that towards the end of June. We're thinking about June 26th, so you can pencil that on your calendar, but don't write it in ink yet, but we think we're going to have one there. And it'll be another webinar, shorter than this one, but showing you how to use a family philanthropy online. They also hold monthly webinars, which we promote to you through our calendar event. So as long as you stay plugged into SECF, we'll inform you about their monthly seminars. Some of the ones coming up are Over the River and Through the Woods. Oh, they have really good titles. That alone should be something. Disaster grant making and preparedness, and 15 years into family philanthropy. Lessons learned and a look ahead. I think those of you in family foundations can relate to all of those. Philanthropy Insights, a new member benefit we want to make sure you're aware of, thanks to a grant from the Robert W. Woodruff Foundation and in cooperation with the Foundation Center. You as a member of SECF have 2 years worth of free access to Philanthropy Insights. That is a $1,500 annual value. In exchange for that, we do ask that as many of you as possible send your information, your grant information on your grants to the Foundation Center. Part of the reason meaning the Foundation Center was interested in doing this and we're interested in doing that, is because there is not currently enough grant information collected on grant making in our region, and it is helpful for you and for everyone to get a better picture, literally a picture because it's combined with Google Maps, of the grant making that's going on, whether it's in your community, your county, your state, or across the region. So that information is on our website, and it's in a bar on the left-hand side.
Helen, I just quickly want to give a shout out to Bob Faulkner, who just liked us on our Facebook page. So thank you, Bob. We really appreciate that like. We encourage everyone to follow Bob's lead and give us your like.
I do what I'm told.
You like us, we'll love you.
We already love Bob.
Yeah.
Another concrete member benefit I want to share with you is Statescape. Now, this is a policy tracking and analysis tool that is open to us and through us to you as individual members. We will be predominantly tracking legislation that is of interest to the field. However, you as a member can choose to track any legislation you want on the state or federal level. Kanita had another call, or else she would be here to personally tell you about it. There is a page that's open on our website now. It's under the policy section of the web page. Currently, there is a how-to video. And, okay, if y'all will bear with me, we didn't get a chance to test this. I'm going to try to share my screen with you, my whole desktop. Maybe. Let me see. Can y'all see that? Will someone let me know? Can you see what's our web page?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. So earlier we were talking about. So here we're talking about on public policy, and I think if you go here, somewhere on here there is a.
Are you looking for Statescape?
Yeah. Where is
it's
it?
on the. Actually, go to the home page.
Yeah.
And then the bottom right corner.
Bottom right corner. Exclusive. Oh, here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad Angie's in the room. We didn't get a chance to test this for no. So there you go. So that's what how you can access Statescape. And encourage you, if you want information on how to do it specifically, contact Kanita. She's at KENITA@secf.org. I think I said that earlier. Okay, where'd this go? Here it is. I think. Okay. Ah. Okay. Some of the other things that you get discounts on, one of the discounts that you get from us free, one is our Foundation Desk Reference. That is a legal compendium that was authored by Ben White of Alston and Bird. Many of you know he's like the guru for private foundations from a legal standpoint. You get one of those new when you join. If it's been a number of years since you've joined and you don't know where your copy is or you've got new trustees, we also have them available for purchase via our website, or you can call us and we can send them to you. They're normally $50, but for members get them for $25. ReadyTalk, which is the tool we're using now, has teleconferencing and webinar capability. We heard from a number of members, especially those who do a lot of organizing within their community, whether it's in a local area or statewide, have found it helpful to have their own conferencing capabilities. We also have access to BoardSource, GrantCraft, and Stanford Social Innovation Review, which are all publications and or organizations that provide a number of publications that you may find very helpful. And then as we were talking about earlier, let me see if I can figure out how to go back there. We have a lot of tools available for you online. If you go here to Effective Practice, you can see we have accountability tools. There are all sorts of information if you're in administration for communications, and a lot on the governance area. And perhaps one of our most popular, I'll go ahead and is the, okay, we'll have a little trouble driving there, sorry y'all, is of course the salary information which comes out in the fall. And Gabriel did a lot. I want to brag on him another minute. He did a lot of this grant reporting, and if you want any reports by a specific position or type or asset class, you can contact Gabriel directly. He's Gabriel, Gabriel, at secf.org, and he can share, he can run those reports for you for a specific salary, and that is exclusive only to members. So there are a number of tools that are available, resources, reports. A lot, if something gets opened a lot through connections, and we try to store that report on that section of the website so you can find it later. Here's a picture of Ben White, who wrote the Foundation Desk Reference. He also does some pro bono work for us. If you have a specific question, you can send it to us, and we will share it with him, and he answers often very quickly and always very thoroughly. Directors and officers liability insurance, we have access to D&O insurance through the Council on Foundations, and we actually literally received an hour or two before this call. We're exploring an opportunity to provide broader insurance to all of our members, and that you'll be hearing about that hopefully shortly from us. And now I would like to turn it over to our wonderful and fabulous president. If you haven't met her in person, you just need to come up to the next meeting and let me know or tackle her. It will be well worth it. Take a number, stand in line. It is well worth the effort to be able to spend a few minutes with Janine.
You can tackle me, just don't hurt me.
Give her a hug.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for being on the call. And I want to thank my amazing team for putting this webinar together. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our members to learn more about all of the extraordinary benefits that we provide. I'm just going to give a quick introduction of the staff that I have the privilege to work with every single day. And in my opinion, in addition to the board of trustees that we have a pretty extraordinary team of staff members here, and a lot of the value that you get that we don't talk about also resides in the experience and the expertise of the staff that helps drive great member benefits each and every day. And I can certainly say that this team of people work together on average between 50 and 70 hours a week, quite honestly, between what they do in the office and what they're doing at home, because they love working for this organization and serving our members. So I'm going to mix up the voices a little bit so that you can have an opportunity to actually meet a few of these incredible staff people, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves. So Helen, I don't know if you actually shared a little bit about your background when you got on the call, but I'd like for you to just share with our members that are on the phone just a little bit of how you came to SECF and how long you've been here.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I've been here so long I kind of forget sometimes. I've been here 9 years, but I spent most of my professional career in the private sector in marketing and communications, predominantly with high-tech startups. And you say, what does that have to do with philanthropy? My personal passion was always with philanthropy. I was raised under a tradition of volunteering, and through a volunteer position kind of came to realize that, hey, there is a place to contribute professionally within the philanthropic infrastructure, and I really enjoy it. The startup experience is very similar to working at an organization like SECF because you do have to be kind of willing to jump in and do whatever it takes to get the job done when you're a small organization, and being willing to take things and run with it. And also, as an infrastructure organization, we have to have the heart of philanthropy in mind, but also with the business discipline. So we try to be very good stewards of your membership dollars, and so constantly looking at how can we be more efficient and provide you good value. So
wonderful. We also have Dina Chadwick. Dina is not in the room, but she is our Senior Director of Finance Administration and Executive Relations, and so I work very closely with her around kind of day-to-day operations of the organization. We're off traveling a lot. All of the staff travel quite a bit across the region, meeting with members and also ensuring that they have kind of best practice information to bring back to build out our programming. And so Dina is typically here and making sure that everything's still running. And so we appreciate all the work that she does. She brings a background in, of course, accounting and finance, and she helps support many of the affinity groups as well with some of their accounting needs, and came to us actually from the Woodruff Foundation, where she worked in their accounting department for many years. I personally have about 25 years total in philanthropic and nonprofit sector work. I spent probably the first 21 years of my experience in that work. On the other side, right now, this is a regional association, so we serve foundations, and we try to do that very, very well, but we are a nonprofit 501c3 organization. For 21 years, I was actually working inside of philanthropy. I spent 15 years at the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, the last 8 of which I served as a vice president, reporting directly to the CEO around philanthropy and also around community and economic development. I was recruited to Atlanta in 2005 by the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, where I served as their vice president of education. I spent a couple of years also as president and CEO for a public foundation that's based in the South before coming here to SECF almost 2 years ago. Angie, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I, like I said, have been here about 10 weeks now. I have a long history in nonprofit public relations and marketing. I've worked with some of my favorite organizations. I've had the great opportunity to serve at Habitat for Humanity International, at Girl Scouts of Greater Atlanta, Special Olympics Georgia, with AmeriCorps and the Corporation for National Service, and I'm also a returned Peace Corps volunteer where I served in Bulgaria. But my passion is really, so if anyone speaks Bulgarian, I'm happy to chat with you a little bit later. But my passion is in combining the opportunities to tell the philanthropic story through marketing and communications and public relations. So I'm thrilled to be here, and I think it's so telling that Janine, during her time, she uses her time to introduce the staff and tell the staff how to say. That is just so telling of the type of leadership that we have from Janine. So.
And yeah. Dwayne Marshall, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Greetings all. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Dwayne Marshall. I'm the Director of Programs and Partnerships here at the Southeastern Council, and we're excited about serving you and doing all that we can to make our members experience the most rewarding, thoughtful, and engaging experience possible. My background, first and foremost, I'm a native of the South. I'm originally from Savannah, Georgia. And professionally, I've worked in a variety of different industries, which include financial services, real estate, political organizing, nonprofit work. And I've been here at the Southeastern Council for roughly 7 months now, and very excited about creating new and innovative programming that rewards and educates our members on the work that they do within the field. So we're excited about serving you and looking forward to meeting you all personally, those who I haven't had a chance to meet with yet. Thank you.
I'll introduce you briefly to a few of the staff that are not here. One is Chantel Tremetier. She's actually kind of a guru, if you will, in social media. She works very closely with Angie in the communications and marketing area, and she is kind of the genius behind a lot of the beautiful, kind of colorful graphic design kind of things that you see on all of our materials. And then Marianne Gordon, we call her the event planning extraordinaire. She's got over 37 years, nearly 40 years of event planning experience, and she tries to make it a wonderful, rich Southern experience. We are known for feeding people very, very well and creating a very rich learning experience. And then Kenita Williams is our Senior Program Manager over Public Policy and also as it relates to any special initiatives. And she also supports some of our affinity groups, including statewide associations, much like the Georgia Grantmakers Alliance. And then Aisha Alvarez is our Administrative Associate who provides all that kind of administrative support that the team needs. And then Gabrielle, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Namias. I'm an Atlanta native. I went to, or as of next Monday, went to Emory University, where I completed a bachelor's in political science and African studies, and as of this year, a master's in political science. I interned with the Southeastern Council Foundations last summer through the Ethics and Servant Leadership Program at Emory. And I was fortunate enough for them to offer me a part-time job for the year and now a full-time job for the summer. And today is the first day of that full-time job, and I'm really happy to be doing that. And I'm really happy to be here.
And congratulations are in order for Gabriel. We're going to be celebrating with him for his graduation for his master's degree. So we're happy to have him here.
And I won't bore you by repeating all these numbers, but just to give you an idea, we try to provide a lot of opportunities for you to get professional development or find out more information that is related to any of your funding interest areas. And so that gives you an idea. This is a program that we offered in 2012 by the Counts. And we had more than 1,500 people participating in all these different programs and events. So I hope you found out something you didn't know before and would love to open it now to any questions. Any have any questions? Anybody want to say anything? Hey, y'all.
This is Yvonne. I just want to say thank you. It was good to get all this information again. I joined the Southeastern Council on Foundations when I first started the NCR about a year ago, but that was really a blur those first couple of months, so it was good to have a refresher.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Yvonne. We appreciate you being on the call as well.
Anyone else have any comments, questions? You can email or call me. Later, if you do, I'll plug you into the right person. So thank you very much for taking this time and exploring your member benefits, and I hope you have a great day.
All right. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please stand by.